Our next topic is about information as resource with control and privacy. So let us begin by determining or knowing the difference of fake news and false information. Okay? So experts now recommend to avoid using the term na fake news. Okay? Kasi daw itong fake news is it's closely associated with politics. And this association can unhelpfully narrow the focus of the issue. Okay? Kasi when we say false information, gaya niyang nakalagay dyan sa slide, no? It's a diverse range of information. Okay? It consists of news, stories, or hoaxes created to deliberately misinform or to deceive the readers. No? While pag sinabi nating fake news, it's more focus, okay, mainly on the political side, no, political news stories. Okay, so please take note of that. Now, according to Martina Chapman, she's a media literacy expert, no. Sabi niya there are three elements to fake news. So, it's mistrust, misinformation, and manipulation. Okay? So, adding to that, meron tayong different types of fake information. So, number one, we have clickbait. Okay, pag sinabi natin clickbait, ito yung mga stories, no, that deliberately fabricated or is fabricated to gain more website visitors and increase advertising revenue for websites. So, madaming ganyan ngayon sa social media, no? Yung akala mo totoo or kung akala mo magaganda yung offer, pero pagka-click mo naman yung link na pinost nila dun sa social media site, no? Yun pala hindi totoo. Okay, clickbait lang pala. So second one is a propaganda. Okay, so these are stories that are created to deliberately mislead audiences, okay, for the intention to promote a biased point of view. Okay, ayan, madaming ganyan ngayon sa social media, okay? Especially sa political side of things. Okay, next we have the satire or parody. So, madaming websites and social media accounts publish fake news stories for entertainment and parody. Okay? Next, we have sloppy journalism. Okay, so sometimes reporters or journalists may publish a story with unreliable information. Okay? So, papublish sila nung mga information na ganito without them checking kung yung facts ba na nakalagay doon sa post nila is true. Okay? Kasi ang tendency nun, it can mislead audiences. Okay? Tapos, next, misleading headings. Okay? Ito naman yung mga stories that are completely false, that can be distorted din using misleading or sensationalist headlines. Okay? And last one is yung bias or slanted news. So many people are drawn to news or stories that confirm their own beliefs, okay, or their own biases, no? And fake news can prey on these biases. Okay, now next, we'll now go to online safety and security, okay? So, let's define first what a spam is. Okay, so when we say spam, it refers to the transmission of unsolicited messages from different origins using electronic messaging system such as email and chat messengers. Okay? Ngayon, meron tayong most common form nitong spam na to. And we call it, okay, yung unsolicited bulk email. Or yung kanyang acronym is yung UBE, okay? So ano nga ba yung unsolicited na bulk email? So, and so sure ako, lahat naman tayo may email na ginagamit, no? So, most of us are already victim of this UBE. Okay, kasi when we say unsolicited bulk email, okay, so unsolicited means that yung recipient has not granted permission, okay, para makareceive no ng mga different messages from unknown senders, okay? So ito yung mga company na kung saan everyday, okay, siguro nagre-range into 5 to 10 emails yung pinapadala sa atin. Okay, or some unknown companies din, no? Na kumbaga na-click lang natin elsewhere sa internet, na-click lang natin and then timing na nakalagin yung email natin. Okay? So when that happens, no? So kukunin ngayon nung company na yon yung mga email addresses natin and that's their way to send yung mga unsolicited bulk email. Okay? So that's why okay, some of our email na ginagamit kahit pa wala tayong ina-expect na email for the day, magugulat tayo na pagkagising natin 10, 20, 50 na yung nasa inboxes natin. Okay? Typical attackers use spam as a tool for adverts. Okay, next. We have here social engineering. Okay? So, ano nga ba yung social engineering? So, it is the art of manipulating people into giving up sensitive information or gaining their trust to exploit them. Okay? So, this is a very dangerous type of hacking. So, social engineering is a type of hacking. It's very dangerous kasi it can happen without the use of a computer, a mobile phone, or any gadget. Okay, kasi dito, gaya ng definition dyan, it's an art of manipulating people, okay, into giving up very important information through word of mouth, no? So, yan, malalaman natin kung paano nga ba yung mga tactics nitong mga hackers na to, okay, when they do social engineering. So, ang social engineering is also called as brain hacking. Why? Because, sabi dito, it's the clever manipulation of the natural human tendency to trust. Okay? So, when you fall victim sa social engineering, you will really trust yung hacker na gagawa nitong social engineering na to sa'yo kasi kapani-paniwala talaga. It's like very true, no? Yung the way they will interact with you, talagang parang nasa totoong scenario ka. So, social engineering is hacking the human mind. Okay? And attackers look to the emotional aspects of the human decision making to execute these attacks. And it also comes in many different forms and can be performed anywhere where human interaction is involved. Now we have here the three different forms of social engineering. To start off with phishing, okay? So, we will just run through, no? Bigyan ko lang kayo ng brief na background and then later di-discuss natin about these things, okay? So, phishing is a practice of sending emails appearing to be from reputable sources with the goal of influencing or gaining personal information. Okay, pangalawa naman, we have vishing. Vishing is voice phishing, okay? So for voice phishing, it is a practice of eliciting information or attempting to influence action via telephone. Okay? And the third one is impersonation. So impersonation, it is a practice of a pretexting as another person with the goal of obtaining information or access to a person, a company, or a computer system. Okay? So, impersonation, pang nag-impersonate ka, no? Nagpre-pretend ka na isa kang tao or isa kang top official sa isang company. Okay? just to access very essential information, okay, to that company. Now, we have here 5 social engineering attacks to watch out for. Number 1, ito yung phishing. Okay? Okay, so mapapansin ninyo, no? Yung picture kung saan parang namimingwit, no? Itong hacker na nasa left side ng ating screen. So, nakuha kasi yung origin nung name na phishing dun sa pangingisda. Okay, yung analogy behind that name is yung mga internet criminals or yung hackers kung tawagin, they use email, okay, to lure or kumbaga to bait, no, for passwords, important credentials, ano pa ba, mga financial data from a large sea or large ocean of unsuspecting internet users. Okay, so ganun yung analogy ng phishing. Yan. Phishing scams might not be the most common types of social engineering. Okay? So most phishing scams demonstrate the following characteristics. Number 1, okay, they seek to obtain personal information. Okay, kabilang dyan yung mga pangalan natin, address natin, mga social security numbers, okay, stuff like that. Okay? And then, okay, meron din tayong tinatawag na paggamit ng mga link shorteners, no? Or embed links that redirect users to a suspicious website. Okay, kumbaga, nagpo-post itong hackers na to na sasabihin nila, okay, duplicate or extension to ng website ng St. Paul. Pero yun pala, no, when you click that link, okay, using link shorteners, okay, pwede mo kasing i-convince yung mga users mo na with the name of the company na gusto mong i-duplicate, no? Pwede mong i-convince yung mga users mo na, okay, legit na link to. Okay? So, be careful whenever you click links, no? Make sure na trusted, okay? Make sure na credible talaga tong link na pupuntahan ninyo, okay, before nyo i-click. Okay? Now, third, okay, incorporates threats, fear, and a sense of urgency in an attempt to manipulate the user into acting promptly. Ito naman yung mga tactics ng mga hackers na parang ipipressure ka nila. Okay? Kasi gusto ka nila i-manipulate eh. Gusto nila na meron kang ibigay sa kanila. So parang aapurahin ka nila, ipipressure ka nila, okay, na please give me this certain amount kasi ganito ganyan. Important scenario na. Okay? So some phishing emails are more poorly crafted than others to the extent that their messages oftentimes exhibit spelling or grammar errors. Okay, but these emails are no less focused on directing victims to a fake website or form, okay, where they can steal user login credentials and other personal information. Okay? So, malalaman natin na okay, itong site na to is a duplicate website lang kasi ayun nga, gaya ng sabi dito sa slide, no? Some hackers hindi sila careful kaya nagkakaroon ng mga lapses yung ginagawa nilang duplicate website. Okay? Not only yung mga misspelled words, no, or wrong grammars, pero minsan hindi sila careful sa mga pinaglalagay nila. Just like this one, okay? Merong duplicate website na BPI Express Online daw. Pero makikita natin dito, okay? A typical BPI website only requires you to input your email address, okay? Pero it does not require you to email to input your email password. Okay? Ibang usapan na 'yan. Okay, kapag binigay mo na yung email mo, tapos they will also ask you to input your email's password. So, ibang usapan na yon. That means na, okay, hindi na to totoong BPI na website, okay? There must be something wrong. And, yan. Pag nakapag-encounter kayo ng ganito, automatic close nyo na yung tab. Okay? Now, I will show you a video of a phishing scam na nangyari, okay, dito sa Pilipinas. Okay, panoorin ninyo tong mabuti.
Inaresto ng mga otoridad ang isang estudyante sa Isabela na lumikha ng isang pekeng bank website. Sa pamagitan niyan, nakuha niya ang account information ng kanyang mga biktima na kanyang pinagkakitaan. Ang suspect ay Dean's Lister pa naman sa kanyang eskwelahan. Nakatutok si Jay Sabale. Exclusive.
We're under arrest, no?
Mangiyak-ngiyak ang suspect ng makorner ng mga operatiba ng NBI at DOJ Office of Cybercrime sa tinutuluyan niyang apartment unit sa Purok 2, Kawayan, Isabela kaninang umaga. Pakay ng search and seizure warrant na inisyu ng Manila RTC. Si Christian Salvador na magdadalawamputatlong taong gulang ngayong buwan. Natunto ng NBI si Christian matapos magreklamo ang isang malaking bangko dahil marami na raw silang natatanggap na reklamo mula sa mga credit card holders na nasa-charge ng malaking halaga kahit di naman nila nagamit. Sa investigasyon ng NBI, si Christian daw ang isa sa mga nasa likod nito.
Totoo po lahat about po sa bank phishing page. Sa pagkuha po ng mga personal information, sir.
Kadalasan daw ay binibili sa kanya ang impormasyon ng credit card holder sa halagang 5,000 pesos. Minsan na may ginagamit niyang pambili ng sarili niyang gamit. Si Salvador ay isang Dean's Lister student ng kursong Computer Science. Ang trip daw talaga niya ay website penetration at phishing. Ang phishing ay yung illegal na pagkuha ng mga sensitive information mula sa ibang tao katulad ng password at bank details para magamit o makapagnakaw.
Challenge lang din po kasi talaga, sir. Yun lang din po yung nag-udyok sa akin. Then, gusto ko lang pong ma-apply yung ibang knowledge ko sa IT. Kaya, yun po. Challenge ko po sa web hacking.
Pinuntahan din ang kanyang bahay upang i-search maging ang kanyang bagong biling kotse. Domestic helper sa Lebanon ang ina ng suspect, panadero naman ang kanyang ama.
Pinag-aral ko ng maganda. Pinalaki ko siya ng maganda. Matalino yan, sir. Katunayan nga, sir, nagsakripisyo kaming mag-asawa. Nag-abroad yung asawa ko, sir, para mapag-aral lang namin sila, sir, ng maayos.
Dinala na sa NBI Manila ang suspect na posibleng maharap sa mga kaso paglabag sa Access Device Regulation Act of 1998 at Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Isa sa ilalim din sa forensic examination ng kanyang mga PC at laptop para makitang kung may iba pa siyang illegal na aktibidad. Jay Sabale, nakatutok, 24 oras.
We also have a term called spear phishing. In here, okay, spear phishing is a targeted attack where an attacker creates a fake narrative, okay, or impersonates. So dito na din papasok no yung isang form ng social engineering na impersonation, okay? Nag-impersonate daw siya, okay, as a trusted person para makapagnakaw siya, okay, ng mga important information na pwede niyang gamitin for them for them to infiltrate a target or a company or a network, okay? So spear phishing targets a specific individual or a group. Now, sa spear phishing, meron tayong tinatawag na whaling, okay? So pag sinabi nating whaling, dito naman ang target ng mga hackers is yung mga top executive or yung mga top officials ng mga company. Okay? Kasi nga, yung analogy dyan is, kumbaga, mangingisda ka sa dagat, ano? So, syempre, ang target mo palagi is yung big fish, okay? So, yung concept ng whaling dito nakuha. Okay, big fish, whaling, okay, equals top officials, okay, yung top management sa isang company, yung magiging target. Okay, so the second one is we have the pretexting. Okay, so pretexting, this often involves a scam where the criminal invents a scenario, okay, to persuade the intended victim to release personal information. So minsan yung mga attackers, no, so sobra kung maka-pressure, no, very fraudulent yung ginagawa nilang pagtawag sa kanilang victim, okay? Kasi the reason why na sobrang kulit nito mga hackers na to is para mabigyan nila ng pressure itong mga victim nila. Sa ganon, no, especially kapag matatanda yan, no. So kapag sobrang kulit na nitong hacker na to, okay, kapag na pressure na nila yung victim, so ibibigay na, no choice na yung victim, no, ibibigay na nila yung kanilang mga important information. Now, we also have yung smishing. Okay, sa smishing, it's SMS phishing. Okay? So, example nito, no, yung merong unknown number na magte-text sa phone ninyo, okay, telling you that you've been selected for a free gift, that you have won 1 million pesos, stuff like that, ano? So, ganyan yung mga smishing scams. Okay, so next we have phishing scams. Ano naman yung phishing scams? So, let's try to read this scenario, okay? So, an employee of a small business receives a suspicious email with an attachment and does not open it. Now, later, okay, yung empleyado na to, no, receives now a phone call from an unknown person. Okay, so this is the hacker na nagpre-pretend to be a vendor or supplier daw, no, na naka-reference dun sa email, okay, na na-receive nitong isang empleyado na to. Now, dun sa phone call, sabi nitong hacker, please open the email. Okay? Now, the employee logs into the bank account for the business and the malware captures the login information, enabling the hacker to steal funds. Okay? So, ngayon, itong hacker na nagpanggap na vendor, ano, so sasabihin niya, i-open mo tong email na to. Upon opening, okay, kiklik ngayon nitong empleyado na to, syempre hindi niya alam, no? Now, the employee opens the attachment, okay? So, before niya i-open to, syempre kailangan niya ilagay yung username niya, password niya, okay? No, kapag nilagay niya na yung mga credentials na yon, now the employee opens the attachment and then unknowingly, okay, may malware palang naka-install doon, okay? Or naka-attach doon, ano, sa email na yon. So, it's very dangerous, no? Kaya dapat sa mga company, okay, kailangan nilang i-orient ng mabuti yung mga employees nila when it comes to these phishing attacks. So, yan. Phishing, it's a combination of the words voice and phishing. It's a practice of attempting to steal information or gain unauthorized access to your personal information via a telephone call. Now, I will provide again a video, okay, of how do attackers, okay, do these phishing techniques, no? Now, this time, itong papanood ko sa inyo, yung attacker is female naman ngayon, okay? So, babae yung attacker. Now, you will see here, no, walang gagamitin itong attacker na to na any computer, no, para makakuha siya ng important information sa kanyang target. Okay? So, let's watch this.
Invited Chris to hack me with his team, but they're going to hack me using social engineering, which is essentially hacking without any code. They just use a phone and an internet connection.
We help people with human security issues by testing vulnerabilities for like a network test, but it's for the people network. We test those vulnerabilities, see where the holes are, and then help people learn so they can patch them.
Can we try some of this? Can we try some?
Yeah.
See if it works?
Yeah, we probably could have our star visher here make some phone calls as
Let's do it.
Sure. Do you want to do a sample phishing call?
What's phishing?
Phishing is voice solicitation, and basically what you do is you use the phone to extract information or data points that can be used in a later attack.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Who are you going to call?
Maybe I'll call your cell phone provider
Okay.
and see if I can get them to give me your email address.
I bet they're good. I bet they have my back. But yeah, go for it.
I'm going to spoof from your number, so it's going to look like it's calling from you.
Okay.
Hi, I'm so sorry. Can you hear me okay? My baby, I'm sorry. my my husband's like, we're about to apply for a loan and we just had a baby and he's like, get this done by today. So I'm so sorry. I can't call you back. I'm trying to log into our account for uses information and I can't remember what email address we used to log the account. The baby's crying and can you help me? Awesome.
In just 30 seconds,
gmail.com?
Jessica gets my personal email address.
Now, if I needed to add our older daughter on our account so she could call in and make changes, how would I need to go about doing that? You would have to send me a secure PIN through a text message? Yeah, well, the thing is, I don't think I'll be able to receive a text message if I'm on the phone. Shh. Oh, I'm not on there either? So I thought when we got married, he added me to the account. Okay, my
Jessica uses my girlfriend's name and a fake social security number
5127.
to set up her own personal access to my account.
Wait, I'm sorry. So there's no password on my account right now? Can I set that up?
She even gets the support person to change my password.
Thank you so much for your help today.
So she just basically blocked me out of my own account.
I'll get her fed after this. All right, thank you.
Holy shit. So they just gave you access to my entire cell phone account.
You're gonna have to go on and change your password now because it's Jess, my name.
And all it took was a crying baby and a phone call.
Yes.
I really thought that my cell phone company would protect me. I mean, like,
The next one is baiting. Baiting is in many ways similar to phishing attacks. However, what distinguishes them from other types of social engineering is the promise of an item or good that the hackers use to entice victims. Baiters may offer users free music, pwede ding mga movie downloads, sometimes money, no, through GCash and other money, other online platform that involves money, no. If they surrender, okay, their login credentials to a certain site. Okay, so now we have here the three types of baiting, no. So si Facebook kasi, meron silang tinatawag na engagement bait. Okay, so ito yung mga forms ng mga to. No, vote baiting, react baiting, tsaka share baiting. So sa vote baiting, no, this is when a post asks people to vote using an unrelated reaction. Okay? As in the following example na makikita nyo dyan, no, sabi dyan, vote on your 2018 goals. No, tapos use this emoji to be fitter. Yung emoji na gulat, okay, yung heart naman to find love, okay, yung laughing na emoji to get a promotion, and then yung like na emoji for to move cities. Okay, so yan yung example ng vote baiting. Ang react baiting naman, okay, it's similar, no, to vote baiting, but the only difference is that, okay, yung reacting niya naman, you're indicating how you would describe yourself as per the post rules, okay, as shown in the image in the middle, okay. While si share baiting, yung third one, is asking your followers to share your post for a chance to win. Yan, a chance to win a new car, no? Yan, parang nasa pangatlong image na nandiyan dyan sa slide. Now, next is yung tailgating. Another social engineering attack is known as tailgating or piggybacking. Okay, so these types of attacks involve someone who lacks the proper authentication following an employee into a restricted area. Okay, magandang example siguro nito, no, nung before pa mag-pandemic. For example, nakalimutan mo yung ID mo dun sa turnstile, no, nung ating main gate. So, minsan, other students do is parang ipipilit nila yung sarili nila dun sa person behind them para magkasya sila dun sa turnstile, ano? So, yun yung tinatawag nating tailgating. So, kapag nakalimutan mo yung important na credential mo like ID. Okay? So, without an ID, alam naman natin hindi ka pwedeng makakapasok ng school. Okay? So, with tailgating, okay, ito yung mga move or ito yung mga tactics na ginagamit para makalusot sa isang vicinity, isang company, isang school, isang industry, no, without a proper authentication. Number 5 is pretending. Okay, meron tayong tinatawag na conman or yung confidence man. So, sila yung mga swindler who tries to gain the confidence of the victim in order to defraud. Yeah, now you see them. Okay, now let's go to malware. Okay, so malware, it's a short term for malicious software. So, it is a computer software sent by attackers to inflict chaos on a computer's operation and processes. Now, most of the time, this program is disguised as enticing websites. Okay, malwares are used to spy upon the activity of the computer and steal information. We have 3 types of malware. Okay? We have Trojan, virus, and worm. Let's start off with a virus. A computer virus attaches itself into a program or file, enabling it to spread from one computer to another. Now, parang human virus, no? Doon nakuha yung analogy nitong si virus. A computer virus can range in severity. Some may cause only mildly annoying effects, while others can damage your hardware or the entire system, okay? Or software, pati na din yung mga files ninyo. Now, take note na dito sa virus, gaya sa human virus, no? It attaches itself first, okay, into a host, no? Para mag-inflict ng chaos dun sa computer system. Kaya na lang pag nagkakasakit tayo, no, sa katawan natin. So, maghahanap ngayon yung virus ng host sa katawan natin, okay, para dun kapag nahanap niya ng host sa katawan natin, dun yung kumbaga yung trigger, no, mas manghihina yung katawan natin, kakalat yung virus, at ayun, tendency nun is magkakasakit yung tao. So, that's what a virus is. Okay, now we go to worm. Now, si worm is a subclass of a virus. Okay? It's very similar to a virus by design. Pero dito nga lang, when we say worms, it spreads from one computer to computer. Unlike a virus, it has a capability to travel without any human action. Okay? A worm takes advantage of a file or information on your system, which is what allows it to travel unaided. Yung pinaka dangerous dito sa worm is it travels on its own, no? For example, sa isang school, no? O dyan na lang sa bahay ninyo kung kunwari. Okay, for example, yung isang computer ng kapatid niyo is nagkaroon ng worm. Now, ang tendency nito, since you are connected into a one network, may tendency yan kumalat. Hindi lang sa computer mo, kundi na rin sa mga smartphones na ginagamit ninyo. Now, that's how virus can affect, no, yung buong gadget sa isang home, sa isang house, no? Kaya it's very dangerous. Ayan. Kadalasan nakikita natin yung worm sa flash drive, no? Kunwari, nung before pa mag-pandemic, kunwari, mahilig tayong mag-computer dyan sa tapat ng school, no? Yung computer shops dyan. So, madalas kasi, tatamaan ng mga worms yung mga computers dyan. So, tendency kapag insert ka ng flash drive ninyo, hindi mo mapipigilan na magkaroon ng mga worms such as that. Now, just a friendly reminder, no? Just in case na when it will happen to your flash drive, don't you ever click sa mga shortcut links na to, sa mga folders na to, kasi once you'll click on that, no, mas matitrigger yung worm, mas kakalat yan, mas magi-spread sa laptop or sa computer na ginagamit ninyo. Ayan, I remember when I work in the government, no, may nagpaayos sa akin ng flash drive. Sabi niya it's a very important daw na flash drive sa kanya kasi it contains, no, yung mga files ng division nila. And then when I check, ganyan naman na yung naging file name, as in sobrang encrypted, sobrang unreadable na yung mga folder names, no. And then sabi ko, wala na talagang remedy. Okay? The only remedy is to format it and then you will lose all the files. No? Kaya it's very dangerous. So, ayan. Inside the different folders is, tignan yung mga files. No? Talagang naging symbols na unreadable siya. Kaya sobrang tinding worm yung nakapag-infect itong flash drive na to. Okay, next type of malware is Trojan. So a Trojan or a Trojan horse is full of as much trickery as the mythological Trojan horse it was named for. So at first glance, they will appear to be a very useful software, but it will actually do damage once installed or run on your computer. So gaya na lang nung Helen of Troy, no? So dun sa Helen of Troy, and meron silang horse, no? Very big horse na gift sana nila dun sa king. Okay? Pero little did the king know na inside that horse is mga soldiers pala, no? Na that would attack their place and also the king. Okay? So those on the receiving end of a Trojan horse are usually tricked into opening them because they appear to be legitimate software or files from a legitimate source. So again, 3 types of malware. So para mas ma-differentiate natin sila, when we say worm, the keyword natin doon, it replicates. A virus is always a host, and a Trojan masquerades. Now we have a we have just two, no? Two government provisions for online courtesy and etiquette. We have the RA 10627, or the Anti-Bullying Act of 2013. It states that the severe or repeated use by one or more student of a written, verbal, or electronic expression, or a physical gesture, or any combination thereof directed to another student that has the effect of actually causing or placing the latter in reasonable fear or physical or emotional harm or damage to his property. Okay? So mag-ingat-ingat tayo, no, kasi may mga government provisions na sa mga taong mahilig mambully, not only online, no, but also yung face-to-face na bullying. The next is the Republic Act 10175, or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. Ito yung sinampang kaso dun sa student na gumawa ng phishing website, no? Yung video na napanood natin kanina. Now, this law protects an individual from various unwanted online cyber acts that may harm or evade one's privacy and integrity. Okay. Now we move to internet safety tips. Okay, now we ask ourselves, ano kaya yung biggest threat natin online? Okay? what is the biggest threat online? So the answer is yourself, no? You are the biggest threat. Okay, sabi diyan, your biggest threat to your social media security and privacy is yourself. So the main problem why we are the biggest threat or you are the biggest threat is the oversharing kung tawagin natin. Okay? Because the hackers or your stalkers like oversharing. Okay? How much is too much information ba? Okay? When it comes to sharing online. Kayo ba yung type ng user na kung saan every activity na ginagawa ninyo is you need to post it online? Okay? Kayo ba yung type na every time may pupuntahan kayo, kailangan nyo i-post online? Okay? So, dun kasi nagkakaroon ng oversharing. And that's what hackers, want. Okay? That's what they like. Okay? The more you share your activities online, the more chances na maging victim kayo. Okay? So, please avoid them as much as possible, no? I-delay na natin kahit one day lang. For example, lumabas tayo for today, no? Pwede naman natin i-pause yung gala natin for today. Okay? Pause na lang natin tomorrow para at least maiwasan natin yung mga stalkers, no? Now, why do people use social media? Okay, hanapin nyo yung reason dito. Okay, is it to stay in touch with what friends are doing? Is it to fill up your spare time, no? Lalo na ngayon, no, ngayong pandemic, no, sobrang let's admit it, no, ang daming mga boring moments. So, is social media the reason, no, to fill up your spare time? Or general networking ba with other people yung reason? Is it to find funny or entertaining content? No, just like me, no? So, guilty ako dito. Okay? So, usually, nag-Facebook ako, especially TikTok, no? Before I sleep, no? To find mga funny, entertaining videos. Kasi, parang at the end of the day, parang gusto mo na lang na to find and to watch these videos para, alam mo yun, yung matutulog ka ng, ng happy ka, no? Or another reason, is it to share photos or videos with others? Because friends are already on them. Is it to share your own opinion? Mahilig ka bang mag-share ng opinion online? Is it to research new products to buy? Okay, sa mga mahilig dyan, mag-Shopee? Or to meet new people? Yan. Sabi sa internet, ito yung main reason why we use social media. It's because yung fear of missing out. No? Parang gusto natin in tayo palagi sa news. Kasi kung hindi ka in, or kumbaga hindi ka updated sa mga nangyayari sa social media, no? Kumbaga meron itong fear na you will lose your friends, no? Yung kumbaga iba yung tingin nila sa iyo na hindi naman to updated, no? Mga stuff like that, no? Especially sa mga millennials ngayon. Okay? They always have this fear of missing out. And that's why we have here internet safety tips. Okay, isa-isay natin. Number 1, we keep personal information very, very limited. Okay? Avoid oversharing. Okay? Humans trust even when they should not. So, minsan kasi, na-offeran lang tayo ng something sa Facebook, okay? Tapos, nadadala na tayo. So, hindi dapat ganun, no? So, kilatisin nating mabuti. Okay, so sana wala nang na-victim ng mga ganito, no? Mga ganitong ads na congratulations, you are today's 100,000 visitor, nanalo ka ng ganito, ganyan, okay? sana di na tayo ma-victim sa mga ganito. Then, we avoid the temptation to give information. As much as possible, no? Dapat low-key lang yung identity natin online. Though sa social media, sabi dyan, no, extension niya ng sarili natin. Though it's true that it's an extension of ourselves, we make sure na dapat limited lang yung information na ilalagay natin. No? Especially mga addresses, contact numbers, no? So, wag natin dapat i-post. Especially ngayon, time ng graduation, no? Let's tell our friends, let's tell our classmates, no? Our younger friends na let's avoid posting yung diploma online. So, kasi dyan, may mga important details dyan, like your mga shed order number, yung mga ganon. Okay? Mga tracking number ng diploma, okay? Yung mga serials, yung parang ganon, serial numbers, avoid nating i-display yan online kasi that's very risky. Pwede kasing gamitin against sa inyo yan. Then protect yourself against online predators. So when we say online predators, these are individuals who commit child sexual abuse that begins or take place on the internet. Okay, that's why we should be careful enough who we meet online. Okay. And then whenever we see this one, warning, visiting this site may harm your computer. Okay, wag nyo nang ituloy, Just close the tab and then don't you ever go to this site again. We always use the sites that has HTTPS. Okay, kasi HTTPS, okay, ibig sabihin niyan, Hypertext Transfer Protocol Secure. That means that we are guaranteed dun sa website na binivisit natin kasi it's being secured. Okay, so wala siyang halong virus. So some of which is si Google, si Facebook, si PayPal, si YouTube, and so on, no? Basta pag may nakita tayong color green dun sa URL or dun sa address box natin, that means, okay, credible tong website na to. Okay, wala siyang virus. Yeah. Number 3, we visit secure websites only. Okay, next, whenever we want a software, okay, kasi alam naman natin yun, sa hirap ng buhay, di ba? Parang we can afford to purchase mga softwares online, no? So whenever we will find a cracked version of a software that we like, for example, Microsoft Word, no? Let's check on the file size. And so hindi kasi kapani-paniwala, gaya dito sa example na to na si Microsoft Word has only 388 MB of file. Okay, so questionable yan. So pag sinabi kasi natin Microsoft Office of Microsoft or Microsoft Word, siguro nasa 1 gig yung ganong mga size niyan, no? Kaya careful tayo sa pag-download. Yan, that's number 4. Number 5, secure your accounts with a very strong password. Yan, so as much as possible, no? So let's adopt this kind of passwords. Then don't use password, no? Don't use only one password to your different social media accounts. Okay, that's very risky. Yan. Kung sa relationship, meron tayong 3-month password rule. Okay? Meron din tayo sa ICT, no? Meron tayong 3-month password rule. So, sabi dito, every after 3 months, we should regularly change our password. Okay, so but seriously, so make your passwords complicated and treat it like your toothbrush or underwear. Kasi nga, sabi sa human hygiene, di ba? Dapat magpalit tayo ng toothbrush every after 3 months. So, ganun din dapat sa password. Okay? Now, I will share to you a video, okay, on how we should create a very strong password. Kasi when we gaya dito yung nasa video na ipapanood ko ngayon, no? So, wag sana nating gayahin. Okay? So, because when we do or create passwords, just like itong mga nasa video, mas madali natin siyang, or mas madali tayong mahahack. Okay? So, ayan, tignan natin yung video na to.
You know, we've been hearing a lot about cybersecurity lately, largely because of what happened to Sony. Companies and individuals are more concerned about the safety and privacy of their information than ever. President Obama has unveiled a number of new proposals this week to crack down on hackers, and he plans to address this in the State of the Union speech on Tuesday. And it's great that the government is working on this, but the truth of the matter is we need to do a better job of protecting ourselves. You know, the most popular password in the United States is password 123. And as long as that's the case, we're vulnerable. So today we sent a camera out on the Hollywood Boulevard to help people by asking them to tell us their password. And this is how that went.
We're talking about cybersecurity today and how safe people's passwords are. What is one of your online passwords currently?
It is my dog's name and the year I graduated from high school.
Oh, what kind of dog do you have?
I have a Chihuahua Papillon.
And what's its name?
Jameson.
Jameson. And where'd you go to school?
I went to school back in Greensburg, Pennsylvania.
What school?
Hempfield Area Senior High School.
Oh, when did you graduate?
In 2009.
Oh, great.
It's like my cat's name and then just like a random number.
Okay. Has you had this cat for a while?
Yeah, she's my childhood pet.
Aw. And what's her name?
Her name is Jolie.
Jolie. So like a password of yours would be Jolie and then a number.
Yeah.
Like number 1?
Like my birthday.
Oh, when is your birthday?
June 12th.
Oh, nice. And what year were you born?
95.
Oh, great. So Jolie, 6, 12, 95.
Yes.
Got it.
So you mean to give my password right now? No, I cannot do that.
But we all want to know what it is so we can tell you if it's strong or not.
Oh my goodness. Let me think. Okay, one is Tel Aviv. Yeah. 4, 6, 8, and then Israel. It's only 3, but it's, you know, it's for me it's strong enough.
Ireland, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Gemma, 1, 2, 3. Spelled Gemma.
Well, most of them are Italian.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
so
what? Like what's a good Italian password?
My grandma's name.
What's your grandma's name?
Maria.
Maria. So Maria is your password?
Oh yeah, now you know my password. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, the important thing is they learned a terrible lesson. Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. Did you know there are things other than pornography on the internet? Watch them on the Jimmy Kimmel Live YouTube channel, which, much like your own body, I encourage you to explore.
Okay, so that ends our topic for this morning, and I hope you've learned something today, no? Most especially yung topic natin for today is very important since ito yung mga current issues na very alarming, no, na nangyayari ngayon sa social media. Okay? So thank you very much for listening.